Chapter 26. Andrew's phone buzzes just as we climb off our bikes. He turns it face up to read the message, then exhales loudly. Nina is okay. Apparently she freaked out when the lightning struck and took another path back to the entrance. I'm relieved but angry. And she didn't think to tell us? Guess not, Andrew says, tucking his phone back in his pocket. He lifts off his helmet, revealing damp hair on top, but completely dry hair in the front. Everything that hung out of his helmet sticks up like peacock feathers. We can't really be mad at her for doing the same thing we did, though. He's right. When I saw that glass box was empty, I took off. So did Andrew. I can't blame Nina for running in the other direction. At that point, we all just wanted out. So we know where Nina is. But what about the footprints? Andrew sighs. You have to admit that maybe it's possible that they were already there and we overlooked them. We were looking at the statue, not down at the ground, right? And the crying? I continue, panic pulsing in me as I remember the soft wailing that seemed to come from every direction. It could have been the wind. You live in the Windy City now, Tess. Sometimes the wind sounds like whistling, sometimes like howling. Maybe today it sounded like crying. He runs his open palms over his face like he's tired. Ugh. The one thing I can't explain away is that glass box. I don't know how the statue disappeared like that, but we're going to find out, Florida. I pause, then take 2 steps up my front walk. It's now or never. Okay, this is it. Andrew stops in his tracks and looks up at the windows of my house. You're lucky. My condo building is huge and there's always someone moving in or out. I can't keep them all straight. A private house like this would be so much better. Thanks, I answer, pulling the necklace out from under my hoodie. It's the same kind of chain that you'd put on a dog tag, but mine holds my house key. I hated taking off my locket, but wearing both only worked for one day. Too many tangles. With my luck, the second I took the key off the necklace, I'd probably lose it. Welcome to the Halloween house. I try to pull off a laugh, but sound more like a dying goat. He snorts and punches me gently in the upper arm. It's not that bad. I don't scare easily. Nina either. Richie, on the other hand. Wait, Richie and Nina are coming? Andrew catches my confusion and frowns. It's okay that I invited them over, right? Richie was worried about his sister. Now obviously we have a lot to figure out. I thought 4 brains would be better than 2. Yeah, totally. It's great. My parents will be happy to meet you guys anyway, I say, wilting on the inside. My father would probably break out his violin and ask us to do some weird kind of stuff, folksy sing-along. And Mom, well, who knows? She could be on one of her painting binges where we don't see her for hours at a time. Or maybe she'll encourage my friends to let her read tea leaves or something crazy. Back home, my friends were used to Mom and Dad. If they did something insane, like insist that we hold hands and meditate like we did the last time Rachel slept over, it wasn't a shock. But here, no one knows how different they are yet, how different we are. Even though I'm glad Andrew is here, I kind of wish he wouldn't find out. The house smells like pizza when Andrew and I walk in. Warmth seeps into my clothes as I take off my jacket, heating my chilled skin. As much as I hate this place, those radiator thingies sure can be nice. Wow, Andrew says, looking around. His eyes land on the paintings in our living room and he smiles. Did you make those? Nope, I only work in pastels. My mom is a painter, though. Those are hers. He slips off his wet shoes and walks over to one, my favorite. It's a heron standing in shallow water with a fiery Florida sunset behind it. This is really good. Your mom is amazing. She painted it back in Orlando then? Fort Myers, I correct him. I've only been to Orlando twice, and it was to celebrate Halloween with Mickey Mouse. Unless you count snack bars and flying carpet rides, there wasn't anything there to paint. Yeah, that's a scene from the beach that was right by our house. We used to go there all the time. Andrew must sense the sadness in my tone, because he abandons the painting. Jonah's toys are spread all over the floor like a garage sale exploded in our living room. Fortunately, Rena wasn't a part of it. Tessa, hey sweetie, where have you been? Dad appears in the doorway between the kitchen and the living room. Something red is splattered all over the front of his shirt. He stops when he sees Andrew. Ah, well hello there, you must be a friend of Tessa's. I'm Andrew, nice to meet you. Andrew reaches out to shake my dad's hand. I've never seen a kid do this before and I almost laugh. Andrew is in my homeroom and we have a couple of classes together. Fantastic, Dad says. So glad you're here. Make yourself at home. Dad, what is that? I point a finger toward his shirt. Bringing someone here for the first time is hard enough without Dad walking around like a crime scene photo. Pizza sauce. It's Word Pizza Day, and you made it just in time. He does a little dance, and his hair bounces around the top of his head, making me laugh despite my nerves. Nothing better than a homemade pizza for lunch. Pizza Day is something we did back in Fort Myers a lot. Every weekend, actually. We'd roll out our own dough and make individual pizzas, adding whatever toppings we wanted. It's how I learned that pepperoni and green olives were totally meant to be together, like pastels and paper. Honey, your mom and Jonah walked to the grocery store to get some last-minute toppings for the hot fudge sundaes we're putting together for dessert. But with the storms and all, I'm going to drive to pick them up. Plan ruined. I can't be here alone with Andrew. The ghost will do something if we're the only ones here. It's hardly raining at all now, Dad. And what about us? I sound whiny, but I can't help it. I'm scared. What about you? In 2 short months, you'll be 13, Tessa. We trust you, he says with this giant smile as if it's supposed to please me. It does not. Andrew mouths free range to me, and I fight back a laugh. Maybe my parents are part of some new hit movement here in Chicago, but they just don't know it yet. Oh, Tessa. Dad suddenly rolls around, a broad smile on his face. Internet got hooked up today. I stare at him, excited and disappointed at the same time. I'm finally free to email Rachel anytime I want, to tell her all about Chicago and this ghost, but Andrew is here. Plus, Nina and Richie aren't far away. I'll message her later, after we figure out what Inez is after. She'll understand. My father slips on a jacket and grabs his keys from the table. Be right back, guys. Pizza just came out of the oven, but don't try to cut them yet. They need to cool. The door slams behind him, and I shudder as a giant deadbolt slides back into place. We're alone in here now. Alone with Inez, or the ghost of Inez, or Amos, or whatever. What was all that about? Andrew strips off his wet jacket and hangs it on the hook just inside the door. Nothing, I say quickly. Andrew plops down on the couch and kicks out at his feet. Then why did you want your dad to stay here so bad? I look at the paintings, the uneven wood floor, the loose brick in the wall I still haven't told him about. Anywhere but at Andrew. I'm afraid. Afraid for us to be alone with her. Who, the ghost? Nodding, I look toward the stairwell. It started the day after we moved in. Mom heard noises, but they were coming from my room. Jonah heard them too, again my room. Then his doll showed up in my room, twice. I think she's trying to reach me. I leave out the part about the drawings I found in the wall. I'm pretty sure they're proof of what I'm saying, but I'm not ready to share that theory just yet. Telling Andrew and Nina might get the clues figured out faster than I do, if I do it on my own. But a little voice in my head keeps telling me that isn't what Inez wants. That she left the drawings for me to find, and that she wants me to figure them out. I hope I'm not making a mistake by keeping them a secret. Andrew scratched his head. Not gonna lie, I feel a little better knowing you weren't acting like a weirdo because of me. He grins, that lopsided grin of his, and I can't help but smile back. Maybe we need to start by finding out the connection between her and you. Andrew adds, why the ghost is trying to reach you specifically. Thought you didn't believe in ghosts, I tease. He grins and shrugs. I guess I'm on the fence about it. Ask Nina how far away she is. We might need her. Nina has more knowledge about Inez than she wants to admit, and right now, I think she's my best shot at unraveling this mess. Oh, and tell her to bring the book. If we're going to figure out who's buried there and why they're haunting me, we're going to have to need it. Andrew starts clicking away at his phone. Got it. Where's your computer? Oh no. The family computer has always been off limits to me before. For anything that isn't homework related, that is. We don't have a television either. Mom and Dad don't hate technology, really. They just believe there are better things to fill our time with. Now I'm going to have to explain that and look like a complete psycho. Or am I? I glance up at the clock, noting that Dad walked out about 3 minutes ago. With traffic, he should be gone for at least another 20. Plenty of time to do a little digging on Inez, and then erase everything from the computer history. If Nina and Richie get here soon, that is. Taking a deep breath, I tell myself this is pretty much homework. I'm not really breaking the house rules, right? Upstairs, first door on the right. But the minute they get here, we're going to have to be fast. That's the end of that chapter.